want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. A chemical company was ordered to pay 16 million and sentenced to 2 years probation for its role in a poisonous gas leak that took the lives of four workers at a Houston area plant nearly a decade ago. The employees at the now closed Dupont chemical plant in La Porte, Texas, died in November of 2014 when a chemical used in the manufacturing of insecticide and fungicide was released. The United States Attorney Elmdar S. Helmdani, who is based in Houston, stated that the deaths were the result of DuPont chemical negligence. Quote, the sentence imposed today sends a clear message of my office's dedication to holding managers at industrial facilities and the corporations that operate these facilities accountable for violations of law meant to protect the safety of the workers in nearby communities. During a court hearing Monday, DuPont, along with Kenneth Sandil, who ran the unit at the plant where the employees who died worked. Each pled guilty to one count of negligence, release of an extremely hazardous substance. The United States District Judge Lee Rosenthal ordered DuPont to serve the 2 years of probation, which means that federal officials will have full access to all of the company's operating locations. DuPont was also ordered to pay a $12 million criminal penalty and make a $4 million community service payment to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. Sandil was ordered to serve 1 year of probation. In a statement, Corteva, a spinoff of DuPont that took over its agricultural operations, stated it deeply regrets the deadly gas leak. Quote, we are committed to the highest safety standards, and safety is a core value. In a final report released in 2019 on the deadly gas leak, the United States Chemical Safety Board concluded that various safety management systems deficiencies, including problems with troubleshooting operations, safe work practices, and toxic gas detection, contributed to severity of the incident. Stated that the chemical began leaking from a valve around 4 a.m. on November 15th of 2014 in a unit at the plant in La Porte, about 20 miles east of Houston. Crystal Wise, Wade Baker, and brothers Robert and Gilbert Tiznado were killed. A fifth worker was injured. Sandil and DuPont engineers allegedly devised a plan to divert a large volume of the chemical gas into a waste gas pipeline system during the day before and night of the fatal incident. However, Sandil failed to implement necessary procedures to evaluate safety aspects of the plan. The unit where the workers died did not have adequate ventilation or air monitoring to ensure employee safety, and procedures weren't followed that would have restricted worker access to the area where the ventilation fans weren't working. In 2016, DuPont permanently shut down the insecticide production plant where the workers died. Brent Kuhn, an attorney for a representative for the Wise family, stated jail time for executives would be more effective in preventing similar tragedies. DuPont settled lawsuits filed by Wise's family and families of the other workers who were killed. Quote, it remains to the general public to believe whether or not probation is fair criminal punishment for somebody who decisions led to several highly avoidable and painful deaths. So I just want to make this real clear that this should just let you know that the elites don't care. The DuPont family is a very, very well off, wealthy. I ain't talking about rich. I ain't talking about they got some money. They got wealthy. I'm talking about dirty, dirty money, right? They got enough money where they can inevitably end up taking some lives and they just get probation. Do you see how that works? You see how nobody's going to jail? You see how nobody's going to prison? Even though this was their plan, even though that they knew that this was very dangerous, they decided to have the workers do X, Y, and Z, knowing the fact that they didn't have working ventilation, proper ventilation, knowing that fans were broken, knowing that there was access to the area that there shouldn't have been access to. This whole plan was jacked from the very beginning. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. This is what you have to deal with when you have certain people who have money, who have power, have the ability to get away. This is almost like the affluenza type of deal where it's like they knew what it is that they were doing, that it was wrong, but they got such great lawyers that they can just come up with a brand new word for no reason, and it's now a part of the lexicon. It's now a part of the everyday. It's now going to be a terminology that anybody who is rich and affluent can just go directly to and say, "Oh, well, I didn't know any better," in the rich terms. DuPont didn't know any better. They didn't know that this was going to happen. They didn't know that the fans weren't working, that there wasn't proper ventilation. They didn't know that this plan was a complete failure, that it was going to inevitably end up taking out the workers, and that it was going to force them to have to, close some stuff. They didn't know. They didn't know. Like I said, I don't I don't know what to tell people. My condolences to those families. Because you're doing a job which is, in a sense going to help out the farmers and, other people directly out there too who use those products. My condolences. Like I said, a lot of these things should not necessarily happen, but when you have rich people out here that don't care, and when you have a government that's really not going to penalize any of these corporations or these companies whenever they happen to do things like this, and the workers are the ones that lose their lives, you know, this is what it looks like. You just get probation. You don't get prison time. You don't get jail time. You just get probation. That's crazy. That's crazy. You can be that rich. When people sit up there and say that money can buy freedom, money can literally buy freedom. Money can pretty much buy you anything that you desire as long as you got the money, as long as you got the bankroll, as long as you got the bank account, as long as you got the gold bars, as long as you got the people backing you, you can almost pretty much escape death itself. Death itself. Like I said, it's ridiculous. Whoever was on the board, whoever knew of the plan, uttered words of the plan, all of them should be locked up in prison forever. And any money that they have should be given to those families on top of whatever those families would get from whatever, lawsuit or payout. That's how it should go. That's 100% how it should go. But like I said before, this is, the worlds that the elites control, that the rich of the rich of the rich control, the one percenters, right? The one percenters. This should, if you don't know that they don't care about you, this should give you a little bit of insight to let you know that they don't really care about you. And if they're willing to do this, and they're willing to go to such far lengths with the bankroll that they have, with the amount of lawyers that they have in order to escape prison and jail time, what do you think that they would do on a larger scale? Just think about that.